Welcome to Hidden Drams Day on the Whiskey Vault channel. I'm Daniel Whittington. I'm the Chancellor of Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. Hidden Drams Day is when we try something that you likely can't get your hands on, that was given by a student or that I bought, or just something I really wanted to try and talk to you guys about, but that you're probably not going to be able to get, either because they're small and craft and have less releases, or because it was a rare special edition of something. This is another Roknar, which is a distillery far north, which is up in Minnesota. And I'm a huge fan of the distillery, huge fan of the people and their vibe, big fan of the whiskey. And this one is a gift from Austin Barnsness, who's one of our Psalms, who actually went out and tracked this thing down and then mailed it back to me so that I could get it. And so thank you, Austin. And this is their classic, like, rye, Minnesota rye. Their goal at far north is to try to create a category of rye called Minnesota rye. Sort of how Pennsylvania has Monongahela rye and so on. This is Hazlitt winter rye, and then the corn percentage in this is their corn, their barley. I don't know if it's their barley, but it's their corn, kind of localized. It's 80% rye, 10% corn, 10% barley. But then they finished it in cognac casks. Woo! Woo! All I get in the nose, just immediate explosion from the glass, is the sweet berries direction of the cognac. Let's let this breathe for a second. Okay, and there's sort of this funk inside of all of the Roknar releases that if it was not a rye, I would really not be okay with. But because it's in a rye, it sort of blends in and with the herbal sort of botanical notes of a rye. But there's this sort of funky, deep earth. Mushroom is too strong of a word, but it's this earthy funk that's sort of behind all of this. And then layered across that is all of this sparkly herbal kind of baked spice rye. A little bready, for lack of a better, like yeasty bready. But then across all of that, there's a lot going on in the nose in this thing, is that sort of like really sweetened. I'm guessing that's the berries. I'm guessing that's the cognac, the berries notes. And then, yeah, sort of like lumber, like a lumber yard. Yeah, when I agitate it, all of the berries come forward. When I let it sit, it falls back into this earthy, dank lumberyard mixed with rye spice kind of vibe. Oh, and the palate is really candied. The palate, sweet, floral is the wrong word, but it's, ooh, and then it ends with a little bit of a bitey tang. I like that. I think the cognac really paired well with it. The last Roknar I had was like really high drama. This one smells like it's going to be really high drama, but then it sips real tame and soft. And I feel like I'm getting more of the youth. I don't know how old this is. Less than 2. That's all it says. Less than 2. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of water in here, even though it's already at 47. That can handle some water. I already forgot my water glass thing. Maybe it's in here. Hey, it is in here. Hey, look, guys. Ta-da. Aren't you proud of me? I remember the water. Not really, I didn't. I really love that there are distilleries that are like really going in on rye these days, as opposed to just like, we also have a rye. So many of the ones I was introduced to changed my opinion of liking rye because all I drank was Indiana rye or what Kentucky distillers were making as rye. And then I started trying things like Wiggle or like, what's the Dad's Hat? And I was like, oh, interesting, okay. And then my first introduction to Far North was same. It was like, oh, okay, interesting. Drama, character, and the fact that they're, the farm and they're trying to be local, truly localized. And I just think that's really cool. I love, I'm a big fan of all of their labels, and they just seem, this is like, when guys like this succeed, that's what I want to see. That gets me excited about what's happening in craft, always. That did not do well with water. With water, that sort of earthy, mushroomy note sort of pushed through and buried the botanical notes. And then it's coated in a densely cinnamon sugar sweetness. But it woke up the palate a little. The palate got a little more meaty and a little more character to the simple, soft sweetness. Huh. Interesting. All right. Yeah. I'm getting the chance these days as one of my favorite things is when we hold whiskey class, what happens is a lot of the somms show up and bring bottles. And hey, everyone needs to try this. Because when you're getting together with a group of real whiskey nerds, it's always fun to bring interesting things. And because that's what whiskey's for. It's for sharing and community and connection and story. And it's always on those days that and they leave them for the vault. It's always on those days that I end up with a pile of a dozen bottles over here of really weird, interesting craft things that turns out are remarkable and that no one will ever be able to get their hands on. And that's really what is driving these series of hidden drams, where I get the chance to talk about these things and like show them to you. And I know that you're never, and it's not great for views. It's not great for catapulting the YouTube views to the roof, but it's great for the people who are here in the community. And I hope has some small impact, however, in whatever positive way we can, towards the continued growth of craft whiskey across the U.S., but everywhere, actually. And that's what Hidden Drams is for. So thanks to the somms and thanks to the people who have brought these weird things for us to get to try. And thank you to you. I'm really glad you're here. Cheers. Like and subscribe. I just realized I have another lost from the last video. It was right over here. Like and subscribe. Thank you for the whiskey.